Our final presenter this evening is Cielja, who is an advocate for peace in the family. She has been a parent effectiveness trainer for over 20 years. Her personal approach and peaceful view on what parents and children want and need assists parents to move away from a fight or flight or submissive situation with their family members to understanding and respect for each other. Please welcome Cielja.
Master, said the student, I want peace in my family. When do you want to have it? Said the master. Today, said the student. That is not going to happen. What do you mean? Cannot I have peace in my family? No, that's not what I said. Then when will I have it? Come back for 10 weeks, and I will give you tasks and assignments. And when you do them, then we may talk. Why can't we talk now? I so much want peace. Because I don't know if you will do all the tasks that I ask of you. They are not easy, you know. Oh, I will, said the student. And yes, he came back for 10 weeks. And after 10 weeks, he said, I'm ready. Tell me, what can I do? The master said, go back home, and every time that you have a conflict in your house, teach and do and practice for yourself all the peaceful conflict resolution skills that we have taught over the last weeks. All the new thoughts that came into your mind, practice them. And with every moment you do that, you get one more step closer to peace. Once parents come to my parent training, they are so fed up with the situation at home, and they want it immediately changed. So they say, tell me what I should do. And then I tell them something just, for the fun of it. And they come back and they say, didn't work for me. How come? How come that does not work for them? Because it has to do with patterns. Patterns that you have created out of habits. Habits that you've created out of behavior, and behavior came out of thoughts. It's there in these thoughts that you have to start to recreate new thinking. So you can say, what is this new thinking? Just tell me. And then I get really enthusiastic because it's so easy and it's so simple, and you've already heard it tonight. And when I tell it, you said, oh, I knew it. But before we are there, I just need to ask you to do 2 more steps. Before I tell you that simple thing that you already know, you have to really want peace. You really have to decide that you're no longer are going to yell at your kids, slapping them on the butt. You're not going to do anything to mold their behavior into the one that you want. You're not going to spy on them. You're not lecturing them, not giving them names. That you have to decide to let go of. And second, you have to acknowledge that you co-created the situation that you do not want anymore. It's easy for us to look at other countries and say, look at how they treat their children, horrible. And they think it's even a good thing to mutilate baby girls. And it's normal to have child labor. And they seem to do nothing about enslavement of children as soldiers and prostitutes. And now, look a little closer. Our Western world, our America, it's more and more seen as a good thing that newborn baby boys are mutilated. It's normal to force toddlers to sit still and zip their mouth and consume passively our teachings for hours. And we think we cannot do anything about the millions of American children who go hungry to bed every night, or those who seek the feeling of belonging somewhere else because nobody's home for them. To acknowledge that on a nation level is hard enough, but now let me ask you to do a step closer. Can you ready to be shown the way that you treat your child causes the behavior that you don't want, and how you interact can damage or strengthen the relationship with your child? For those who said, yes, I'm ready, I let them know, well, I hope we can work together in some of my trainings, because I'm ready to get there too. Because if you look into your own home, and if you really can acknowledge that you want to change, what are you going to see? You see every single person by themselves. And even if it's the two of you, there's two different people. It's like two different cultures, let alone if there's a lot of kids. And yes, kids and babies are people too. I know you know. I wrote about these first thoughts for babies, especially my little booklet, Grateful for My New Baby. There is the new thoughts that a new mom and a new dad can have at first. That's how they can build it up. So let me let you go tonight just with one skill that you've already heard about. And the simple step is be in the here and now. Just be. We've heard it saying. But I add to that, without judgment of the past, without advice for the future, just being here and now. Well, how can you do it? That also you've heard this evening. It's by listening. Not listening like, oh, I've heard what you said. No, listening with your whole heart and be an assistant for the other person to let their mind tell you what they're going on. And there's one poem that I would like to end with that really tells all about this. It's written by an anonymous poet, and it is called Listen. When I ask you to listen to me, and you start giving me advice, you have not done what I asked. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you're trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and you start thinking of how to solve my problem, you failed me, strange as that may seem. Listen. All I asked was that you listen, not talk or do, or just hear me. Advice is cheap and I can get it everywhere. I'm not helpless. I'm maybe discouraged and faltering, but not helpless. When you do something for me that I can do for myself, you contribute to my fear and my inadequacy. But when you accept as the simple fact that I do feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can quit trying to convince you and can get about the business of understanding what's behind the irrational feeling. And when it's clear, the answers are obvious and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. And perhaps that's why prayer works sometimes for some people, because God is mute and doesn't give advice or try to fix things. He lets work it out for yourself. So please, please listen and just hear me. And if you want to talk, just wait a minute for your turn and I will listen to you.